The Kansas City Chiefs are facing one of their most decisive moments in recent years. After a bitter season finale, the franchise must deal with changes that could redefine its future. Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes are at the center of attention, and important decisions need to be made. Will the Chiefs surprise everyone with their next moves? Big things are coming, and you don't want to miss a single detail, so drop a like and let's get into the news. The Kansas City Chiefs ended the season on a sour note, taking a tough 40-22 loss to the Philadelphia Eagles in Super Bowl 60. But that's in the past. There's no point crying over spilled milk. Now, the franchise must focus on the future, and one of the biggest questions this offseason is the fate of Travis Kelce. Will he return in 2025, or will he hang up his cleats? If he decides to continue, it will be his 13th year in the league, coming off one of his least productive seasons since 2014. But if he chooses to retire, the Chiefs will lose one of the most important pieces of their offense over the past decade. Either way, the team must start thinking about the future of the position. Jordan Plow of Pro Football Focus believes Kansas City could target a new tight end in the draft. His pick? Michigan's Colston Loveland with the 31st overall selection. Loveland had a strong career with the Wolverines, playing 39 games and recording 117 receptions, 1,466 yards, and 11 touchdowns. He is also highly rated in the pre-draft process, ranked by ESPN as the second best tight end available and the 27th best player overall. Replacing someone like Kelce is no easy task. The veteran has accumulated 12 Pro Bowl selections and 4 first-team All-Pro honors over 12 seasons. He's a surefire Hall of Famer, but if there's one player who could be an interesting bet for the future of the position in Kansas City, Loveland might be the guy. Even if Kelce decides to return for another year, drafting a tight end might be the best-case scenario. A rookie would have the chance to learn directly from a living legend before taking over the role. So whether it's a smooth transition or an immediate change, the Chiefs already seem to have their eyes on the succession plan for their number 87. Now tell me, what would be the best decision for the Chiefs at the tight end position? Drop your opinion in the comments. And if this is already a major question, the next piece of news will have fans even more concerned. The Chiefs are once again in the typical frenzy of a team that plays until the last day of the season. But while fans are still processing the Super Bowl, the front office is already dealing with the harsh reality of the offseason. Among their top priorities, aside from Travis Kelce's possible retirement, is Patrick Mahomes' contract. Because, my friends, that bill is getting pretty hefty. Mahomes' cap hit for 2025 is set at a staggering $66.2 million. Yes, the Chiefs need to figure something out. Before the 2023 season, when Joe Burrow signed a record-breaking deal, Kansas City adjusted Mahomes' contract to ensure he remained among the highest-paid quarterbacks. Now it's time for another restructuring. The most obvious solution? A basic contract restructuring of the $49 million he is guaranteed in 2025, plus a $1 million workout bonus. The Chiefs could convert a large portion into a restructuring bonus, spreading the cap hit over the next few years. If they do that, Mahomes' 2025 cap hit would drop to $28 million. Great, right? Well, yes, until 2026, when that number would skyrocket to $78.2 million. It's the classic case of kicking the can down the road. As long as the NFL salary cap keeps growing, Kansas City can keep managing this financial juggling act. But they can't avoid the bill forever. At some point, the Chiefs will have to pay the full price, whether that means a massive cap hit in a single year or a complete contract overhaul. And that's where the big question comes in. How can the Chiefs keep Mahomes among the league's highest paid quarterbacks without destroying the team's salary cap? The ideal model to avoid the snowball effect, tying his contract to a fixed percentage of the league's salary cap instead of fixed amounts. Mahomes would take, say, 17% of the annual cap, ensuring that the Chiefs always have financial flexibility to build a competitive roster around him. At the end of the day, this is the price of having an elite quarterback. For years, the Chiefs have shown they know how to manage the situation. But each year, the margin for error gets smaller. At some point, they'll have to stop pushing the problem into the future and decide how to tackle this massive debt head on. The Chiefs are playing a risky game behind the scenes. With major changes looming and a growing financial burden, the franchise must make the right decisions to avoid jeopardizing its future. Will they manage to balance everything without losing their competitive edge? Big changes could be on the horizon for the Kansas City Chiefs. Head coach Andy Reid's future is being questioned. Travis Kelce is facing a career-defining decision, and the front office is gearing up for one of the most important off seasons in recent memory. Chiefs Kingdom, this is one video you don't want to miss. Before we dive in, hit that like button if you've been a Chiefs fan for 20 plus years. And if you believe we're going back to the Super Bowl, type Chiefs will come back stronger in the comments. Let's get right to it. Despite losing only once in the playoffs since the 2021 AFC Championship game, Andy Reid's future with the Chiefs has been called into question by Fox Sports radio host Rob Parker. Parker didn't hold back when discussing the Chiefs' 40-22 Super Bowl loss to the Philadelphia Eagles, calling it an unmitigated disaster. The Chiefs trailed 40-6 late in the fourth quarter before finally finding the end zone, leading Parker to question whether Reid has run out of ideas. During his radio show, Parker said, Andy Reid should step down as head coach. The Chiefs completely embarrassed themselves in that Super Bowl. It was 40-6 at one point. Where were the adjustments? Where was the game plan? He went on to argue that Patrick Mahomes hasn't looked like the same quarterback over the past 2 years and blame Reid for the Chiefs' offensive decline. Parker even suggested that a fresh perspective is needed for Kansas City to stay dominant. But before Chiefs fans panic, let's set the record straight. Andy Reid is not retiring and has confirmed he will return in 2025. Chiefs owner Clark Hunt shut down the speculation, telling The Athletic, I've always been surprised when I hear these rumors about Andy retiring. I know how much fun he's having, and in many ways, he's rejuvenated by this team's success. He'll be back next year. What do you think, Chiefs fans? Has Andy Reid's offense taken a step back, or is this just an overreaction? Well, let's discuss in the comments. The Chiefs are already making moves. The Chiefs aren't wasting any time this offseason. One of their first moves was hiring Chris Orr as their new quality control coach. Orr, who spent the 2024 season coaching linebackers at Jackson State, is now making the jump to the NFL and reuniting with Chiefs linebacker Leo Chenal. The two were teammates at Wisconsin in 2019, and that connection could bring valuable chemistry to Kansas City's defense. Orr's football roots run deep. His father, Terry Orr, won 2 Super Bowls with Washington, and his brother, Zach Orr, is currently the defensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens. This move signals that the Chiefs are looking for young, energetic coaching talent to shake things up after a tough Super Bowl loss. Do you think Chris Orr will make an impact in Kansas City? Let us know in the comments. Travis Kelce's future. Decision deadline set. One of the biggest offseason storylines is Travis Kelce's future. Reports suggest that the Chiefs have set a March 14th deadline for Kelce to decide whether he'll return for the 2025 season. Why that date? Because on March 15th, Kelce is due an $11.5 million roster bonus, and Kansas City needs to plan its salary cap accordingly. At 35 years old, Kelce is coming off a challenging Super Bowl performance. Just 4 catches for 39 yards. On his New Heights podcast, he admitted that he's still undecided about his future. While Kelce is a future Hall of Famer, his 2024 stats were his lowest since 2014, 97 receptions, 823 yards, with a $9.8 million cap hit in 2025. The Chiefs need clarity soon. Should Kelce return for one more season, or is it time for Kansas City to move on? Drop your thoughts below. Top off-season priorities for the Chiefs. After a heartbreaking Super Bowl loss, the Chiefs must make bold moves this offseason. Here are their top priorities. Fix the offensive line. Mahomes needs better protection. The O-line struggled all season, and upgrading this unit is essential. Find more weapons for Mahomes. Xavier Worthy is a promising rookie, but one solid target isn't enough. The Chiefs need more reliable pass catchers. Retain defensive stars. With key defensive players entering free agency, Kansas City must decide who to re-sign and who to replace. Trade for a playmaker. The Chiefs could make a move for Bengals linebacker Jermaine Pratt, who has requested a trade. He's a proven leader and could be a game changer for Kansas City's defense. The Chiefs are at a crossroads. They can't afford to make mistakes in free agency or the draft. Every decision they make from now until September will define their 2025 season. What's the most important move the Chiefs need to make? Let's hear your takes in the comments. The Kansas City Chiefs are in for a wild offseason, and we'll be covering every big move right here on the channel. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Patrick Mahomes, one of the most talented quarterbacks we've ever seen, needs more than just a clean pocket. He needs stability. The offensive line needs a complete overhaul, and that's where the Chiefs must start. It's simple, but it's essential. Mahomes needs more weapons. And what about the weapons around Mahomes? You can't expect him to do everything on his own. It's not just about Travis Kelce. He's aging, and there's no telling how much longer he'll be around. Yes, Xavier Worthy is coming in as a promising number one receiver for the 2025 season, but let's be real, one solid weapon isn't enough. The Chiefs need more. They need depth. They need diversity in their receiving core. They need to give Mahomes the firepower to go toe-to-toe with the league's best defenses. Without additional help on the outside, they're setting themselves up for another disappointing season. The defense is at a crossroads. On the defensive side, the Chiefs have been a formidable force, but that too is in jeopardy. The reality is some of their top defensive players are heading into free agency, and they're going to command significant contracts. This isn't just about retaining key players. No, this is about making sure the team doesn't get priced out of keeping the talent that made them a top-tier defense. And speaking of defense, let's talk about the linebacker position. If Nick Bolton decides to walk this offseason, the Chiefs must find a replacement, and not just any replacement, someone who can step in and make an immediate impact. That's where a trade for Jermaine Pratt from the Cincinnati Bengals could come into play. Pratt, the leader of the Bengals defense, is a proven playmaker. Kansas City Chiefs face a pivotal offseason, key decisions ahead. The Kansas City Chiefs are heading into an offseason full of uncertainty. Patrick Mahomes, Marquise Hollywood Brown, and Nick Bolton are at the center of discussions, and important decisions need to be made quickly. But the big question is, will the Chiefs manage to keep their core intact, or will key pieces end up in unexpected places? The moves have already begun, and you don't want to miss a single detail. So hit that like button, and let's dive into the video. Chiefs come up short of history. The Kansas City Chiefs were just one game away from becoming the first team to win 3 consecutive Super Bowls, but instead they suffered a brutal 40-22 loss against the Philadelphia Eagles in Super Bowl 60. It was a rough night for Patrick Mahomes, one of the worst games of his career, and a dominant victory for the Eagles that caught everyone by surprise. Now, with the offseason officially underway, the Chiefs have a lot of work to do if they want to make another Super Bowl run next season. They'll need to strengthen their offense, adjust the offensive line, handle crucial contract renewals. The problem? Other teams are closing in fast, and Kansas City must act quickly to maintain its edge. Marquise Hollywood Brown, will he stay or go? One of the biggest decisions the Chiefs must make involves the future of Marquise Hollywood Brown. The speedy wide receiver could end up with one of the Chiefs' biggest AFC rivals, the Buffalo Bills. Brown's first season in Kansas City didn't go as expected, largely due to injuries that prevented him from building solid chemistry with Mahomes. Despite that, he's expected to draw significant interest in free agency. Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more Chiefs updates. Go Chiefs!